Hi, welcome to my channel, Literature Science Alliance, where I take a break from my day job as a grad student and talk about books. Let's just get right into it and talk about my TBR or to be read for the month of January. So, the first book I've actually already read. It was the first book I read this year called Free the Darkness by Jade. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'll put a picture of it over here. But this was a recommendation from a close friend of mine. He'd been wanting me to read it for months, and we finally just decided, all right, January 6th, that's when we're going to talk about it. And I gave him a book of mine to read. And so it's actually today when I'm recording this video, we're going to get together and talk about it. It's, I think, also one of the first self-published books I've read, if I'm not wrong. Um, I can briefly tell you, it's kind of just a fun fantasy. I thought it was kind of farcy. You have a very fish out of water story with a character who is kind of a master of a lot of things. So, unfortunately, I don't think I loved it the way he does, but still, I really enjoy reading recommendations from my friends because I love talking about books that I love, and I really enjoy returning the favor, which is part of the reason I'm starting this channel, so I can just talk about books all the time because Lord knows my family and friends sometimes think I'm crazy. So, the next book I'm going to read this month is Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, and I'm still learning how cameras work. But yeah, so this is the sequel to Skyward, the first book in this young adult sci-fi series that he's written. And if you continue watching my channel or check in on what I've been reading, it will become no surprise that I love Brandon Sanderson as an author, which is not a hot take. A lot of people love him. I mean, when I started reading his books, I think his first book was Elantris, and that came out in 2007. That's when I picked it up. It was like a freshman in high school. And all of a sudden, I remembered reading was really fun because I don't think a book had captured me like that since his Dark Materials. Like, I was still in the rereading all my favorite series phase, I was like on my fifth read through of Harry Potter. So, Sanderson's important to me, although I don't love his young adult things as much. I really did enjoy Skyward. It was a really fun story. Spencer kind of gets on my nerves, but I really love her ship. Yeah. So yeah, Skyward. I'm really excited because I'll be real. I always love his writing style. Even The Reckoners, which is by far my least favorite thing of his. So, yep. And so the next book on my TBR is it's a departation from what I normally read, which is historical fiction. And this is The Winter Soldier by Daniel Mason. Let's see if I can get this glare off. There you go. So this is The Winter Soldier by Daniel Manson. And I'm reading this because of my local book club. Every month we read a book. We typically go historical fiction, but we've read nonfiction, literature fiction. We've read some very interesting contemporaries. And it's great because this is the one time a month where I really am always pushed outside of my reading comfort zone. But this, I am pretty sure, is a historical fiction about a World War I soldier, potentially with romance involved. I am unsure. I do have to read it very soon, though, because I moderate the book club this month. So I cannot moderate well without reading it. So for sure, I'm getting this one done this month. And I'm excited to read a historical fiction. It's been a while. The next book on my TBR that I'm really excited to read, like it's happening just because it's so beautiful, is Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Now, I am excited for this book for many reasons. One, it's beautiful. I normally don't care about beautiful book covers unless like I want to own them, which in this case I'm choosing to own this book. But I love when fantasy goes outside of the medieval realm and explores new territory, whether that's magic systems or cultures or everything. And this one is the first that I have found mainstream Hispanic-based fantasy, because you can buy this at Barnes & Noble. This you can buy right now at a Barnes & Noble. This is super mainstream, and it's Hispanic, and it's adult fantasy, and it's gonna be so cool. I'm hoping I really like it, but I bought this so that I could support this author because I want more diversity in the genre I love most. And next up, I'll put an image over here. I'm going to read the second book in the Inheritance Trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. I her Broken Earth trilogy was the best thing I read last year. And I read a lot of really good books last year, but that one, I binged that one. I couldn't put it down, and it was so unique and cool, and it was everything I love from a new fantasy author for me. So I picked up the first one in the Inheritance Trilogy, and I liked it well enough, not enough to like go devour the rest of it, but it was really fun. Had some kind of cool spooky tones and like kind of like that YA romance sort of thing going on. So yeah, I put in my hold at the library and the ebooks finally up because that's what I do a lot. I wait for the library's ebooks to come in and then I download them all at once on my Kindle and I go on airplane mode till I've read them all. But yeah, so that's going to be on my TBR for this month, if only because I now can't get off airplane mode because it's past the due date, so I need to clear off some space. And the last book on my TBR this month is Handmaid's Tale. And look, I am getting better at holding books. I'm glad you guys are all here to watch me learn how to YouTube. But so this book, everyone has at least heard of it by now because of the show, which I have seen. So I know the premise. I've only seen the first season and a half, maybe the 2 seasons. I am unsure because I kind of fell off. And I want to get back on, but you know, momentum kind of, I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. But so I want to read this because it's been sitting on my desk over there for like over a year, and that's a long time, and it's really not going to be a hard read. Like I can tell it's going to be one of those books that just like draws me in, and I'll read it in like 2 days. So that's why it's on my TBR. It's kind of like a, you know, a shorter book. It's, I think, the shortest one on my TBR. Yeah, I think. The Winter Soldier might be shorter, but so yeah, that's my TBR. It's got, you know, it's 6 books, but I really think I can do it. I've started off strong already read 1 book, so really looking forward to starting this reading year strong and attempting this YouTube booktube thing just for fun. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you're excited to read this month, or if any of the ones I've mentioned you've read are excited for. Please, no spoilers. Obviously, if I don't know a lot, it's because I don't want to be spoiled. But yeah, and have a great day.